During yesterday's shareholder meeting, Elon Musk hinted on something that could be absolutely huge. He was hinting that Tesla may just be looking into, or maybe already working on, making its own battery cells. Now, this could be huge in many different ways and also can be very positive for Tesla and really negative. We're going to break it down in those two. I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you how the kind of a degrading, just souring a relationship with Panasonic, maybe adding to that. And of course, the acquisition of Maxwell technology is factoring into that as well. All of this is coming up next. Taking over the world, electrifying the world, Welcome to E4Electric, your number one source of unbiased electric car news. Go ahead and click on that subscribe button. And I want to give a quick shout out to my newer Patreon, Hans-Peter Hauser. Thank you so much for becoming my Patreon. One of many ways how you guys are supporting me and keeping this channel independent through Patreon. Of course, one of the perks is that you guys get to watch all of these videos live. So thank you so much for joining my community. There's a link in the description of this video that you can do the same. And I thank you for it. All right, so this is a battery cell that Tesla puts in their car. Now, let me first tell you the difference between battery cells and batteries, right? It's kind of when it comes to electric cars, a little different. Just in case if you don't know. Now, this is the battery cell, right? They kind of look like AA batteries. I should have someone laying around. Not the Tesla battery, the AA battery. But now what happens is that now this one has the juice. This one's got the secret sauce, right? Now, what happens after that? The way Tesla works is they obviously have a gigafactory in Nevada where they own the building, but Panasonic is there doing their own thing. They own the production lines and so forth, and that's where Panasonic is making these cells right here. So once they made those cells, they're kind of done. They give it to Tesla, which is kind of in the same building, and then they put them together in battery packs, add the cooling system and so forth. It's more complicated than just putting them in a row, and those are actually considered to be batteries, right? So just want to make sure that the terminology, we get the terminology right here. So these battery cells are put together into batteries, and Panasonic has been making them for a while, but lately, the relationship has been kind of going down. Now, Panasonic just announced that they're not going to be putting any more money into an expansion, which they've actually were planning on. They've also said that they really cannot make any more batteries. So if basically Tesla was to sell Model Y like right now, they would not be able to supply the batteries in there. So now they're also frustrated that besides it looks like Tesla still owes them some money, and let's not forget there's a Gigafactory 2 where Panasonic is also camped out making solar cells for the energy products that Tesla makes. But unfortunately, the report came out very recently that they end up selling most of them to Tesla, to other manufacturers that end up in the hands of Tesla competitors. That's not good. So overall, and this also comes from the Gigafactory 1 that was kind of prepared. The Panasonic was prepared to get all these batteries into Model 3 in its first year, and obviously the production ramp up took a while. So Panasonic kind of invested all this money, but didn't have the cars to put it in. So there are quite a few issues that Panasonic had because of this. I think they even took a loss last year in this particular venture, but at the same time they're the biggest car battery supplier in the world, so they are a good partners for Tesla. If anything, just keeping them away from supplying it to other car manufacturers are also desperately needed. I mean, both Tesla and everybody else, all other manufacturers admitted that the biggest problem right now is the battery supply, and we'll be hearing that more and more, and now from Tesla, so that's a concern, obviously, but the relationship has been souring. Panasonic is not making money on this. And, on the other hand, it looks like there's some frustration coming from Elon. So let me show you a tweet that they sent out a while back, but that kind of indicates the tension. And I'll tell you what they're actually going to do about it, at least hinting on it. Before that, of course, I want to remind you that this video and this channel is sponsored by Byton. Check out the SUV, all-electric SUV called M-Byte, coming to the US and Europe at the end of next year, starting at only $45,000. That's before the incentives. Myself, $50,000, actually more now. Other people already reserved one. We put zero money down to make a reservation. It really took about a minute of my time. So try it for yourself if you haven't already. It really doesn't take anything. Go to the description of this video. Okay, so Here's a tweet that Elon sent out. This was in the middle of April. He was answering a question, but he was talking about the gigafactory that Panasonic is producing the cells for. He says there is a 35 gigawatt hour per year theoretical capacity, but actual maximum output is about 2/3. It was physically impossible to make more Model 3s in Q1 due to cell constraints. Okay, so looks like he's basically saying that Panasonic is not keeping up their end of the bargain. And so this whole thing is just kind of slowly starting to tank. Now, don't forget, these contracts that they have together, I think it goes into like, the commitment goes in, I've heard the number like $16 million, billion dollars. Billion dollars. So they can't just quit, right? They just can't quit Panasonic. But as you guys know, recently they've acquired this company for I think like 250 or so million dollars in stock. Maxwell Technology. Now, Maxwell Technology, the energy company, they make a lot of different things, but they have this battery technology that I'm assuming that Tesla bought them for, that can really, really put Tesla out there as far as the efficiency and the weight of these batteries. I think they can even improve it by another 50%, even though right now they're already pretty impressive. So it's kind of a first step or some sort of a step towards the solid state batteries, even if you will. So they bought them, and now during the shareholder meeting, Elon kind of hinted that they might be moving, and Elon and JB and Drew kind of all hinted that they might just be moving towards making their own battery cells. Okay, now that's great news because on one hand, okay, well, so this is where we need to really start thinking about it, whether it is good news or bad news. And so let's talk about positives and negatives. All right, so positive is obviously they've acquired a company that they believe can really help them advance already pretty great technology. Now, the technology is not always in the cells, it's in the way how you put them together into packs and the cooling system and all of that. But cells are obviously very important, especially because of their capacity and weight. So, but at the same time, doesn't seem like they're going to be sharing this technology with Panasonic. It seems like they're just going to be going out there and trying to produce that themselves. And they've done it with pretty much everything, right? The self-driving software originally was made by Mobileye, that later was acquired by Intel. They decided to do their own. After that, the computer chip, the NVIDIA was providing that. Now they're going with their own. And with almost everything they're trying to bring in-house, insurance, the streaming, the music streaming, there's so many other things that are trying to bring, they're kind of becoming Apple of auto manufacturers that kind of want to have their own control over everything. And, there are positives and negatives there as well. But it's good that they're going to be able to control this technology. Obviously, it's going to propel them even further, maybe even 20, 30, 40% more efficient batteries. So everybody wins there. Secondly, obviously, they're going to be solving, and that's what they also kind of hinted on, that they're going to be really getting down in dirt and, maybe supplying some contracts all the way to mines. Like they actually, Elon suggested they're going to do some mining of their own. And so, and that's good. That's good for the company, right? This is you can't make electric cars without batteries, and you can't make batteries unless you control the entire thing. So that is definitely good and definitely exciting. But here's some negatives. First of all, you cannot just replace Panasonic for many different reasons. First of all, they do have the know-how. That's a big a reason why Tesla has been using them for a while. Secondly, that contract that they have with them, it's actually been it's for a long time. So you can't just like yank it out, because they will just I'm assuming will owe a lot of money to Panasonic. And why? I mean, it's working, right? I'm hoping that Tesla will actually add their own sort of production to what Panasonic is doing. I don't know if it's an exclusive. I don't know whether, but you cannot get rid of Panasonic. But secondly, I already mentioned this. You don't want Panasonic taking this technology and going to other car makers that are all thirsty for the supply of battery cells. I mean, Volkswagen Group, Audi, part of a Volkswagen Group, but Kia and Hyundai, they're all having problems with getting batteries from their suppliers. So why would Tesla free up the largest one and send them straight to their competition? I would assume just that would be a really bad move, and I hope they don't do that. I mean, I guess I don't really care. There's only so many batteries that can be made as long as they're being made for electric cars. I don't care as long as we have more and more electric cars coming out every year. But for Tesla, obviously that's not good news. So, and of course the timelines, right? Like that's another thing. When Tesla decided to switch from the Mobileye for the autopilot, that feature was not very good at first when they developed it, and it took them about 3 years to even get them to the same level as the Mobileye. It's only this year, once they actually started making progress on that and making it better than the original 1.0 autopilot. If the same thing happens with batteries, that could be devastating for the company. I'm not even talking about what Wall Street is going to say about this. So I really hope that is being done in parallel, and that Panasonic is going to be maybe involved into creating this new cells, and maybe just keeping that technology exclusive for Tesla. I wouldn't even expect anything other than that. So, but it is. I'm torn on this. So I'm gonna let me know what you guys think. But before that, of course, don't forget to get on our VIP list with bonus stories that we send to you to your inbox for free. Really? So can lose there. e4electric.com/VIP. That link is also in the description of that video. All right, guys, looking forward to your comments. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.